This is Artful Discourse, your weekly escape into the vibrant world of creativity, culture, and intellectual exploration. I'm your host, Benjamin Kirk, and I invite you to join me on a journey through the rich tapestry of human thought and the beating heart of artistic expression at Fresno State's College of Arts and Humanities. Today we have two guests, Dr. Maria Briggs, soprano and Associate Professor of Voice and Opera. Welcome, Maria.
Hi, Ben. Great to be here.
And Dr. Anthony Radford. Tony, is that all right?
Tony's fine.
All right. And Professor of Voice and Opera and the Director of the Fresno State Opera Theater. So welcome to both of you.
Hello, Ben.
Thank you, man.
All right. So my first question, I have it for both of you. I'm going to ask Maria first, though. What do you love about music?
Wow, that's a big question. I think the most important thing about music is that it transcends cultures and languages and political affiliations. It's a very unifying activity. I see time after time people getting together in orchestras and choirs, in their community theaters. They'll leave all their affiliations and other things they might fight about at dinner tables behind, and they get together to be creative and to be a part of something extremely positive. Um, of course, to me, music is also such an aesthetically amazing thing to be engaged in, and it's a very spiritual thing to be engaged in. I think before we could talk, we could sing. So that's my long answer.
You know, I thought it was hard to go first, but I think it's harder to go second on this question. I think from a personal level, it's just everything to me. I mean, it's the first thing I remember doing. It's the in life, and it's the first thing I do in the morning, and the last thing I do is listen or sing or think about music. So I it music to me is my personality, my culture, my profession, and my love. So it's everything.
All right. Now, we came together today to talk specifically about the Art Song Festival, and that's running Thursday, February 22nd through Saturday, February 24th. And I would just want to ask you, Maria, what is an art song?
An art song is a fancy way of saying it's just a song, usually for piano and voice. Um, it the way it differs maybe from pop songs or Broadway songs or opera songs is that it's been carefully composed by highly trained composers and set to carefully selected poetry. It is performed by highly trained classical singers usually. So the experience is that you get uh, the best quality piece musically, poetically, and as far as performance. It is a microcosm. It is not from a show, it stands on its own. Sometimes it's part of a collection of songs, but even then, an art song stands on its own as a beautiful piece of music, poetry combined, expressing a story, an idea.
Hmm. You have anything to add, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, I think just the history of it is that it started probably in the late 1700s, early 1800s, as a short art form. And as Maria said, to poetry. It's kind of a fusion of poetry and music. And we think of, the first masters of this art, probably in Germany, writing to the words of Goethe mainly, or other major poets, but Schubert, and then a little bit later Schumann, in Germany. But yeah, short art form, expressing poetry is a great summation of it.
And then, of course, it's been promoted and spread around the world. We have amazing collections of art songs from Russia, from the United States, from uh, South America, from Spain, and it's really become an international art form, and it's
Mhm.
still growing.
Yeah. And this is the seventh annual Art Song Festival. And what I really find unique about this is it brings together singers, brings together poets, composers, and all of them work together to ultimately produce a song and then perform that song, a completely original piece.
Yes, and let's not forget the pianists, of
Oh,
course.
of course.
Yes, yeah. Well, when we first started the Art Song Festival, the idea was let's promote the genre and show our students what it is and give them an opportunity to perform their art songs. And then by the second festival, we opened up the composition competition because we thought, well, let's create some new art songs right here at Fresno State. And our first poem was set to poet laureates Herrera's poetry. And after that, we thought, well, why don't we let our student poets write the poetry? So it's completely student work, and it's been an amazing result. We have a poetry competition that starts in March, and then the winner of that competition is that poem is set by the composers who compete, and the competition opens up in August, and then they submit their works, and then we select the finalists from those, and then our singers learn those and perform them at the festival. So it's 12 months of effort. And then the pianists get involved as well, and we perform the finalist compositions at the finals. But it's 100% student work, poetry, music, and performance.
It's amazing. A truly interdisciplinary event.
Yes, it is. I think that's very important. We want to teach our students that we're all in this together. Well, singers can't sing without composers composing the music, and composers really can't compose it without poets giving the words to them. And it's good to get everybody in the same room.
Now, I wanted to play a little of example of the type of music that we're talking about, just
Mhm.
to give our listeners an idea. And we selected a track off of your album, and I wonder if you can kind of introduce your album in this track really quick.
So you will hear a Russian art song. And this will be performed by myself, soprano, accompanied by Drew Quaring, who's our collaborative pianist, and is also going to be playing at the festival. We're very lucky that to have a person of his caliber. And you'll also hear Dr. Toran on the viola on the track, who is also performing at the festival.
And I just want to say this is your album,
Yes,
Maria Briggs. Winter Evening was 2022.
correct.
And I found this album on just Google Music, and I assume it's available in a. All
Yes, you can stream it on any platform. Yes,
right,
correct.
let's play it.
Раскошены
Beautiful work. Beautiful work.
Ben, I just want to mention, I didn't even give you the title. This was Anton Arensky's Lily of the Valley. And the text of that poem is written by Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky, who was also a great composer
Okay.
and a poet.
Now, Maria, last year's winners went on, and they went on to KVPR, and I have this up right now, and they did a performance. So I want to play a little bit of that performance, but I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about what we're going to hear right now.
We're going to hear Annika Bull soprano playing with Anthony Zorgensen, composition by Marcus Overacker, who was the competition winner for 2023, set to the poetry winner Sharon McLean's poem Unearthing Home.
Wow, and that was Annika Bull.
Yeah, Annika Bull, soprano, studied with me for 4 years and from Madeira, and she's now in the first year of her master's at DePaul University in Chicago. So look out for her. She's an artist of considerable talent.
Right. You described briefly a little bit how it works, but I kind of want to get, when does the process start?
We start with poetry. I think text is very, very important in art song because it will dictate the character and the mood of the music, the drama of the piece. So we always start with words. So we first I consult my colleagues like Dr. Radford, our composition department, our poetry department. We select a theme, and then we put ahead the call for poetry and say, this is the theme, these are the guidelines. Please submit your poems by this date.
And this is a year in advance. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So after this festival is done in February, right away we're going to start the call for poems for next festival, because that's how long it takes for the cycle to
Mm.
to turn around.
And then does a few poems move forward or are selected, or do composers get to pick them? How does that work?
I recruit my amazing colleagues to
Mhm.
judge the poetry. There's a lot of volunteering involved. So Dr. Atford is one of our poetry judges. We have some poets who are judging. We have composers judging, because it's important to see, some poems may be great poems, but they're not necessarily lend themselves to be set to music or sung. So we have to judge it from several perspectives. And we've been, receiving up to 20 submissions, which is high for us, because we're only opening up to Fresno State students. Um, and from that, we select some finalists
Mhm.
and a winner. We don't reveal the winner until the finals of the festival. And it's a blind review. Everybody just they have a rubric and they give points. We don't discuss the judging with each other. And then it goes into a spreadsheet, we add up, and whoever comes out with the top numbers, the winner. We try to keep it as objective as we can,
Mhm.
even though it's poetry is highly subjective, but we have a rubric. And so there are finalists and winners. And I personally don't get involved in the judging at all. I just facilitate it.
But you do.
Adjudicate? Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the process at the beginning, and I don't know if I've been in the process at the end as an adjudicator yet.
For composition.
Yeah.
So for composition, we have 5 composers from different campuses judging compositions. This is what we've been doing so far. We constantly review what we do.
Mhm.
So um, if we feel that maybe we need some singers or pianists on that judging panel, that's fine. We can add those. So far, we've only had composers judging the composition. So yes, we give the poem to, and we call for scores, for composition scores. We say, this is the poem. These are your guidelines. We
So
have a time limit. Yes.
so all the composers are composing off the one winning poem.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
They
But
don't
it's
know who it's by. They keep asking me, who I want to put it in my score. Who's the name? Who wrote? I said, well, look, I'm sorry, guys, I can't tell you. I'll let you know at the finals.
so the finals, everything gets revealed.
Yes, we will have all the poetry finalists come up
Mhm.
and read their poems. It is the most moving experience. I mean, I'm always moved to tears when I hear all that gorgeous poetry. I think they should all be winners, but uh, and then we hear the 5 or 6 composition finalists.
Mhm.
So each composer also comes out and talks about their process and their work, and then right after that, our student singers and pianists perform it. It's just an amazing night.
And so the final competition is the best
Yes, so
poem,
there's
the
always
best composition, and the best singer.
yeah. After that, we also have our vocal finals,
Uh-huh.
because during the festival, our vocalists are singing in master classes with guest faculty. They're usually international stars, uh, um, and those guest faculty select singers for the vocal finals too. So actually, there are 3 finals taking place: poetry, composition premieres, and vocal finals, all on the same night. I'm finding it very hard to explain this festival. I haven't found a good way of explaining it, because there's so many things happening. But there are 3 competitions, and the finals are all on that night. Um, the entry is free for anybody with Fresno State ID, faculty, staff, students. If they want to bring their friends, please buy your tickets. It's only $5. You can already buy those online. You can only buy them online. You can't buy them in person anymore.
Yeah.
So, And sorry, I should mention the audience gets to vote for their favorite singer and for their favorite composition. We have audience prizes too. So the more friends you bring, the more chances that you will win the audience vote.
And as always, you can find all of the event information for the public events and the tickets on
Fresno State website.
Fresno State
Local
website,
music department.
calendar.fresnostate.edu, and that'll link you directly to the ticket sales website.
Exactly. Yes.
I've thought of a way of describing it in a
Please,
little bit.
please,
I mean,
Dr. Rat.
I think that there are, two main tracks here. Is that there is the teaching the students the tradition of art song through what they're presenting, and I'm preparing my students on to sing, Italian, German rep from the last 200 years, but then there's also teaching them the creative side, the living side of this art. And this festival does both of those things. So I think in sort of a macro way, we're teaching creativity on all levels, but we're teaching creativity um, of the past and creativity of today, and actually the creativity that's going on here at Fresno State and here in the Valley.
Right.
I mean, that's an amazing component of this, because there are a lot of art song festivals that sort of study art song as a museum piece, and that's fine, and that's what we need to teach as teachers. But there are not very many art song festivals that create new works right here, and showing that art song is a living art and a local art, and something that we can all create and participate in.
I just also want to mention, Dr. Rockford, that was great. I need to make sure I write that down. I want to mention that we also have other disciplines participating. In the mornings, we have our dance instructors coming in. Kathy Luo from dance, Kenneth Bayland from dance, who are going to be doing breathing and stretching with our students. We have John Carr, musicology, giving a lecture. Dr. Klima is going to be giving a piano masterclass as well. We have several concerts by guest faculty, by our faculty. And you're involved too. You will be taking our students to the TV studio to do their headshots.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff going on besides the finals. I mean, finals is the very exciting part of it, but and then on Saturday, on the last day, we're hosting national classical singer auditions, and we have people coming from all over the valley to take part in that.
All right. So it's truly an enriching experience for the students involved, and the public can come out and experience it as well. Not only the competition, but also we have some guest artists who are also doing some recitals. Can we talk a little bit about Thomas Michael Allen, tenor, and Maya? And I don't want to butcher her last name.
Kirani.
Kirani,
Yes.
and she's a soprano.
She's a soprano. Yeah. Well, every year, Dr. Radford and I discuss, so who are we going to invite? What? And it's, it's very difficult to secure amazing people, but we've been successful so far. We want people with international career, people with extensive discography, also people who are great teachers. Because we can get in an opera star and our students may not benefit. They may do a great recital, but they don't necessarily have the teaching chops or be able to approach our students on a nice personal level that's comfortable for them and that's going to be beneficial for them and not intimidating or
Well, and Thomas Michael Allen, he is a professor
Yes.
at USC Thornton School of Music. So he's already, I assume, a great teacher and a performer who's performed
very
internationally.
distinguished- Yeah, a very distinguished performer with an amazing track record of roles, concert appearances, huge discography. And then, of course, and also he's just a really lovely person. I always try to get a sense of that when I make a phone call and chat to them. Oh, are they going to be, if they seem to be easygoing and flexible and nice to talk to and kind of understand and appreciate what we're trying to do, then it works. And then I have to make sure they're available. And then Maya is also, she's a kind of early to mid career singer with already some amazing achievements. She sang in major houses around the world. She's been premiering roles at Glyndebourne in France, and has a great calendar this year and next year with roles like Orfeo, roles in Don Giovanni. And she started here in the Central Valley.
Oh.
And she started with Opera Modesto, went through that. And, she's a mother. She has two little children, so she has that experience to talk about as well as an artist who is a mom. And actually, I've interviewed her, and that article will be coming out short on Classical Singer. So I'll be sharing that around with the students. And she's a beautiful soprano and an expert in early music, which we haven't had yet.
Yeah. All right. So we're coming towards the end here. I just want to ask if there's anything I missed at all. Anything you'd like to add about?
Well, I mean, just on the students' ability to experience professional artists. I mean, I think Maria and I, we are with them every day, and we nurture them on a daily, weekly basis. But for them to experience professional artists, just for these few days is such a special occasion. I just remember my own upbringing and being able to. One of the benefits of where I lived in Toronto was that I had a lot of exposure to different artists and the way that they approach their performing, and just being able to be in their presence and the way that they talked about or even demonstrated through their singing. So this aspect that we bring in these international artists is so important for our students to see another side, another opinion of performing and singing. So, and the audience coming to see these things, to see these performers, it's so valuable for us.
Maria, what are you most looking forward to with the event?
As an organizer, one of the main organizers, and also performer and a lecturer at the festival, I look forward to making sure nothing goes sideways. It's just for me, I'm gonna be a stress ball until it's over, and then I'll think back and go, oh, that went okay. But I am so lucky that Dr. Radford has been so supportive from the very start. He's going to be the MC at our finals. He is always very encouraging of all his students participating, and he's been a fantastic collaborator in developing this. It kind of becomes so huge. I don't know how every year it becomes crazy huge. We have so many faculty involved and so many students, and I'm just looking forward to everything. No dramas, no canceled flights, things like that.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Briggs and Dr. Tony Radford, for joining us today.
Pleasure.
I'm really looking forward to the Art Song Festival, as always. I've been.
Well, you've been a great supporter. You always there. You give us great publicity. You take fantastic recordings and photographs, and you're doing the headshots this year. We're very, very grateful that you're doing this podcast as well.
Yeah. And I just want to remind our listeners that this show and all of our archives are now available as a podcast. Just search Artful Discourse wherever you get your podcast. Artful Discourse is a production of the College of Arts and Humanities at California State University, Fresno. The Dean is Dr. Honora Chapman, and the Associate Dean is Dr. Sergio Laporta. This program is written, directed, and produced by me, Benjamin Kirk, the college's communication specialist. The theme song for Artful Discourse is Maiden Voyage by Fresno State music professor Benjamin Boone from his album, Joy. More information about his music can be found at benjaminboone.com. Special thanks to KFSR and FSR Underground General Manager Julie Lindahl for making this show possible. You can learn more about the College of Arts and Humanities and find an archive of our shows at our website, cah.fresnostate.edu, or on our blog, fresnostatecah.com.